𝐒𝐨𝐻𝐿𝐴 This is a popular Igbo saying that loosely translates to a man's life is not an easy one. In many ways, this perfectly encapsulates Tokunbọ, the story of Tokunbo, played by Gideon Okeke, a man in a desperate race against time to save his wife and ailing toddler. An ex-car smuggler is given 3 hours to deliver a government official's daughter to her captor, or else his family will suffer the consequences. The crux of the movie poses a fundamental question: how far are you willing to save your family? The answers it provides, however, leave us questioning more than they satisfy. Tokunbo is directed by Nollywood's one-time romantic leading man turned director, Ramsey Nouah. It's his third directorial outing and first Netflix original, which is still a thing of pride for Nollywood filmmakers. But that's a topic for another day. There are a couple of things I liked about Tokunbo, so let's breeze through them. Number 1. Character performances. Gideon Okeke's talent has never been in doubt. Since his days on Teen Cell, he's been firing on all cylinders, delivering good performances. Tokunbo here is no exception. His performance as the protagonist works. Darasimi Nadi continues her streak as one of the most exciting young actors in Nigeria today. She shines from her first appearance on screen, and her unexpected friendship with Tokunbo adds a layer of emotional depth that improves the movie. Funlola Aofiyebi plays Funlola Aofiyebi-Raimi, the no-nonsense CBN governor, who is a snarky human. She prioritizes her job over basic interpersonal skills. Aofiyebi's idiosyncrasies bring the character to life, making her someone you love to hate sometimes. Her portrayal is a sharp contrast to her recent role in Criminal, where similar traits held that character back. But here, they're an integral part of the narrative, making her a formidable presence. Number 2. Some framing and editing choices. Technically, Tokunbo displays some impressive choices in framing and editing. A notable example of the film's framing is a scene where a parcel is thrown from the top floor of a construction site down to Tokunbo. The camera positioning in this scene adds a dynamic visual element to the narrative, and this is one of many examples where the lens does something interesting. For editing, I won't say much. Just watch this clip. It's a seamless transition that is beautifully executed. The bad. Number 1. The ease of convenience. Tokunbo leans heavily on convenience, but not on the smart end of the scale, often to the detriment of its suspense. The plot unfolds in a way that feels more like a series of easy shortcuts than a gripping narrative. Too many moments in the film happen simply because they need to, rather than arising naturally from the story. From the overly convenient way Tokunbo stumbles upon solutions to his problems, to the predictability of key plot moments, the film rarely surprises. By the time the third act rolls around, the movie descends even further down the abyss, becoming worse than the viewer could have imagined. What should have been a climatic conclusion feels more like a series of unexpected events ticking off a checklist. This predictability and reliance on convenient plot devices ultimately undercut the emotional weight of the story, making it harder to stay fully invested. Number 2. Underdeveloped protagonist's family relationship. That's a mouthful. Tokunbo also suffers from a failure to adequately spotlight the protagonist's relationship with his family. The film positions him as a desperate man thrust into a nightmarish situation where he must make impossible choices to save his loved ones. Yet, we barely see any moments of genuine bonding or quality time that would allow the audience to form a strong emotional attachment to them. While we root for him because no one wants to see a man lose his family, the emotional stakes would have been far higher if the film had invested more in showing us the intimate familial bond that should be at the heart of the story. Without that, the film struggles to make us care as deeply as we should about their predicament. Number 3. Weak villain reveal. For a film with few surprises, Tokunbo reveals its mysterious big bad too easily, which is just shocking and not in the good way. A special spoiler alert here. Funlola Ade's phone call with Raymond at the police station immediately marks him as a suspect, and while the film tries to build suspense, the eventual reveal feels too convenient to be truly satisfying. The film expects us to feel as betrayed as Funlola Ade is by Raymond's actions, yet we barely know anything about him or their relationship. His character is underdeveloped. We're given no insight into why Funlola Ade trusts him so implicitly, nor do we fully understand his reasons for betraying her. When the moment of betrayal comes, he's dismissed with the generic line, "It's just business," which feels inadequate given the gravity of his actions and their impact on the story. Number 4. Rushed and unconvincing final act. The final act falters in delivering a convincing conclusion. The revelation of Folashade's PA as a traitor feels contrived, and the unnecessary one-on-one fight between Tokunbo and Gaza adds little to the narrative. As the third act unfolds, the film's increasing reliance on convenience becomes glaringly apparent, with certain plot developments feeling forced and unsatisfying. And the ending we got? Unforgivable. It not only made things worse, but also defied any semblance of logic, leaving the viewer bewildered rather than satisfied. How do you employ the same person who was a party to your child's abduction to chauffeur and bodyguard the same child? Madam CBN Governor, how? In conclusion, there's no doubt that Tokunbo toys with the intelligence of the viewer. It is marred by predictability and narrative shortcuts, and its third act leaves much to be desired. Yet, it does have some redeeming qualities. It's a journey filled with highs and lows, much like the life of its protagonist, and though the film stumbles along the way, it manages to reach the finish line, albeit not without a few bumps. Tokunbo is currently streaming on Netflix.